Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Drive Time. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back in the saddle once again. It is the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk for you each and every afternoon as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond, listening to us on incredible radio stations like Fox Sports Radio 1400 the Midlands, of course, heard around the world on the iHeart Radio application. Download today. It is free. The website, put the .com on it. Doggone it. That's ClemsonSportsTalk.com. 803-450-0086. Be a part of the show anytime, any place, anywhere. All the information that you need below the website right there. Come join us. Become a CST Plus member for $1. That gets you 3 months of coverage of your Clemson Tigers. After that, $63.17 for a year. We'd love to have you support us as we continue to grow and bring you more and more recruiting coverage and unique recruiting coverage that nobody else gives you. Go check it out right now. That's ClemsonSportsTalk.com. All right, so over the past couple of days, we've talked about some game-winning shots, some heartbreaking moments, and, of course, the Tate George moment always tends to crop up around this time. And so I started thinking, after we had a situation where someone reached out to us and said, oh, yeah, there was this moment with Sherrod Ford's dunk and Alou Babalola's three-pointer that, you know, is that great memory for me, that moment that I can never forget. I started thinking, I was like, you know what? Why don't we hear from you? Like, what are your great moments? Like, maybe it's not necessarily Clemson basketball. Maybe it's when you were growing up. Maybe you hit the game-winning shot. Maybe you led your team to the state championship. You know, whatever that circumstance was for you, I want to hear about it today on the program. If it's a memory, a video, I'd love for people to share videos because we'll dive back into this because I posted my only game-winning shot from around 1987, somewhere in there, playing the ball game back in the day, and I managed to hit the game-winning shot. Let's see if I can pull this up for everybody watching the show today. See if I can get this for you. I think this is the one. Yep, there we go. So here we go. Let me get it. Let's get me small, it big. Maybe something like that. There we are. All right. So, all right. This is circa 1987. Here I am wearing number 3. This guy, look at him. Look at it. Look at the hair. Look at the flowing locks. May have been a bit of a mullet there. I'm not sure. May have to measure that. Business in the front, party in the back. Here's what it sounded like, though, from the Haygood Avenue Gym in Barnwell, South Carolina. Oh, good defense. Oh, he steps out. Oh, shots no good. All right, down by 1. Ball's moving in the front court. Rebound. The hook. It's swish. There it is. There it is. Celebrate, folks. The game is over. The game is, he's being mobbed by the crowd. 40-39. The final score. Put that one in the books. Wow. You know, that doesn't get old. I mean, as old as I am, that video's what, from when I was like 10, like 35 years ago. No, my dad didn't film that. So another guy's dad was actually at the game filming. I somehow ended up with it, and I became, for my family, like the collector of all things pertaining to life as a Swan. And so I just happened to have that videotape here, and I had published it to YouTube years ago. 40-39. Jermaine Counts will hate the fact that I played that because he's lived with that sky hook going in over the top of him. He was always a bigger kid. He's actually a year younger than me. That kid that I get the rebound over, if you go back and watch it. I played on my basketball team growing up in high school as well, but I have to say, like, that moment, it lives forever. And that's just a little, a little nothing gym in a little nothing town in basically a little nothing state, I guess. It's just didn't have any real impact on anything other than the laughs that we had, over the years talking about that moment, because even my buddies, like if you were there and you saw it, or my buddy Keith, who was on the other team, when it happened, it's when you're just chilling out and somebody hits a big shot and somebody goes, Swanny, remember that time you hit the game winner? Like when I was 10? Yeah, that one. Remember you got the rebound, the sky hook? Yes. Yeah, I do. I remember. Can't forget it. So I can imagine what it's like for like Sherrod Ford or Terrence Oglesby or any of these guys who have hit game-winning shots to lead Clemson to victories, or NBA teams to victories, or your high school team to victory, or even, heck, little rec league basketball. You want to tell us about it? You want to chime in? If you have it on video, publish it. Let's get them out there. Why should the ESPN top 10 consist of all new stuff? Maybe you got something in the archives. I don't think mine's going to make ESPN's top 10, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's decent. Again, 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. So your greatest moment game winner. Yeah, I guess I don't even have to. It doesn't even have to be a game winner, quite frankly. I'll take just your greatest moment if you've got that on video. Like if you broke like a 35-yard touchdown in the state championship game, I'm all for it. If it was your only catch in high school history, let's see it. Let's celebrate it. I think I don't know how this response is going to be to people who see the video that we just actually ran for you here on the show. It's up on our Twitter account. If you need to go back and rewatch it, obviously you can rewatch the show here as well and enjoy my reaction to that video from back in the day. But I'd love to hear from you guys as we kind of go through the game-winning moments that you've had. I'm just watching it again. It's so the underrated thing is the closeout. I think, in all honesty, the underrated aspect of that game-winning shot was the closeout defensively. You guys want to talk about the big make. I want to talk about the defense. The defense, and then the Rodman-like rebound on the other end. I mean, that's what made that play great. It wasn't the basket. It wasn't the hoop. It was the defense. All right, let me look at this. Let's walk through this one more time for everybody watching, because I'm convinced that's what made this play special. All right, here we go. How do I get it? How do I flip-flop it? There we are. All right, so first off, I can't remember. I mean, I kind of remember some of the kids who were in this video with me. There's my buddy Keith right here on the interior. Keith, I'm not sure what Keith's doing there. Must be floating out to the perimeter. Look at this. No three-point line. We didn't even have a three-point line in this gym. And when they did put it in, the gym wasn't big enough to even have it go to the edge. It had to stop. I do remember that growing up. So let's see. The ball gets moved across. All right, this kid with the ball in the hand in their hand. I can't remember his name. He was the best player on that team. Easily the best player on that team. Now, granted, with the lead, with the time running out, it's a bad shot selection here. You should not have shot this basketball. You take the foul and go to the free throw line. Up one. But I closed out. Oh, good pressure defense. But he got the shot up. And then you run the floor. You fill the lane. Pharrell decides he's going to take it to the hoop. Then you power for a rebound over the big man. Then you put up the patented sky hook. That's how you do it. You got to love the fans. So ridiculous. Oh, my goodness. So ridiculous. Your best game winner. I hope people put the highlights in, man. I don't think it's going to happen quick, because I think people are going to have to go home and dig in the archives and pull out their phone and film it off the TV. My hope is your game-winning shot that has never been seen, okay, is seen today. My hope is that somebody comments and says, man, that is the most incredible game-winning shot I've ever witnessed in my entire life. That's my hope for you today here on the program. And it all started with the pain of losing to UConn and some of you guys chiming in over the past couple of days, and you've continued to chime in with some of your great moments and the great memories and the game-winning Buckner jams, all of that. But the Alou Babalola, Sherrod Ford game winner, the Terrence Oglesby game winner at Maryland, those shots and those moments got me thinking about you. And so many times here on the program, we talk about you and your relationship to the game. But now maybe, you know what? Let's see what you got. Pull out the old VHS. But if you got a VCR around, fire up the tapes and let's get this thing digitized. Let's get this memorialized. Let's get it online so that for here until, well, I would have said eternity with Twitter, but now Elon Musk got me thinking that maybe we won't have eternity with Twitter. But here until Twitter goes away, it's out there for the people. And if you want to comment on my only game winner, that was my only game winner. My buddy Blake hit one in high school against Edisto. We were playing on the road at Edisto. No, Bamberg. Yeah, he may have hit one against Edisto too. Blake was a heck of a basketball player, could shoot the ball like nobody's business. But at Bamberg, Blake called an inbounds, put it up, and I mean, it was just bottom of the net, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. 803-450-0086. You can also text us about it. You can just tell us a story. If you had a no-hitter or something in baseball, that's fine too. I mean, we are equal opportunity here celebrators. We'll celebrate whatever you've got. Preston, listening to the program, tweeted out some photos of Dabo Swanny, CJ Spiller, and Garrett Riley stopping by his high school today over at Dutch Fork. He said, goats everywhere. So awesome to get to see Dabo, CJ, and Garrett Riley. What amazing people, positive role models to so many here. Of course, they were on campus to see Jarvis Green over there, the running back who's coming in to Tigertown. Now, changing or shifting, I should say, gears here a little bit on the program today. I started thinking about NIL this morning, and I know that you know that I'm not a huge fan. I don't really like what NIL has become based off of what we thought it was going to be. There was a time where we thought it was going to be about the name, image, and likeness, and it was going to be about players and their jersey sales and little things like that. And now it became almost an inducement, an enticement, the reason for a player to go play somewhere else, and which is why I've proposed, and I don't even know if it's my original idea. For all I know, somebody else said it, and I just took it. And so, okay, that happens in this business. But the thought process of you should have to be on campus 1 year, you should have to establish a name, image, and likeness. And if you leave your school and you go somewhere else, well, you should have to reestablish your name, image, and likeness. That would curb two things: how NIL is used to get players on campus and how the transfer portal is affecting college sports. I want players to be able to move. I want players to be able to make money. But I think a situation where they have to sit for a short period of time and or where they cannot receive NIL money would be the thing that would keep players from moving freely. It would also keep coaches and players from being able to, maybe have these deals in place, like the one that's been rumored around Jaden Rashada, who backed off of his commitment, where they talked about $13 million from Florida for a freshman quarterback. Did he ever hit a skyhook game winner? I don't think so. And so my point with this is, if we think about Clemson basketball and Clemson for a second, okay? And I want you to think about how you feel right now around this Clemson Tiger basketball team, right? 9-1 in the league, road game at Florida State, top 25 team. Are they going to win a game in the NCAA tournament? Are they going to make the NCAA tournament? Are they going to get to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four? I have no idea. But here's what I do know. If we talk about college football right now, okay, 2023, Clemson football is not where it is because of NIL. It's not where it is because of the transfer portal. If anything, Clemson football is where it is because of what Dabo Swanny achieved in 2016 and 2018 and all the other years getting into the college football playoff. Like, Clemson made a name for itself before this stuff existed. And I know you have to have it in some way to keep up with the Joneses, but I want to ask you this. Basketball's been fun, hasn't it? Basketball is 5 players. Basketball, to me, if you want to talk about where Clemson should be investing NIL dollars, if you want to talk about where Clemson and these collectives should be coming together right now, it's basketball. Why? Because in basketball, 1-2 great players can change the direction of your program for multiple years. And that's what this program needs more than anything. I started thinking, like, it's kind of ridiculous that you've got this huge brand in football. And I know you want to keep it. I know you don't want to lose it. But I don't think that you would if you took more than most and invested in basketball and changed the course of Clemson Tiger basketball by getting some of the best players in the country to come play basketball in Clemson. Because if you did that, then I think you could get the foundation that Dabo Swanny has gotten by winning on the field through the NIL aspect of the game. And I believe at some point NIL will change and things will be pulled back. And then you've established yourself in an era where there is no Mike Krzyzewski, where there is no Dean Smith or Roy Williams, where you have a chance to sort of stamp yourself as, hey, we want to do this basketball thing. And now is the time where you can entice kids and have kids come in essentially, basically legally, without anybody really saying much about it. So I really started debating and thinking, okay, NIL at Clemson, where could it best be used? I think basketball. More than anything, to make basketball a power program would be the smartest way for Clemson to utilize NIL dollars. Football, I think, even if they didn't give anything to kids, nothing, if there was no NIL money given to a football player at Clemson, guys would still be showing up to play because they still know that this program can compete to get into the college football playoff, national championships, all that stuff. All of that doesn't vanish because you don't give NIL dollars to players. You could roll it all to basketball for 2 or 3 years and still come back, and football's probably right where they've been. I mean, it's just a suggestion, but I don't think it's the worst thing I've heard all day. 803-450-0086. I'm not saying football does not deserve anything. I'm simply saying that you should be putting more into basketball right now while you can to try to grow that program to elite level.